Okay, so we also now talk about direct seeding. Some of the seeds cannot be nursed and it requires you do direct seeding. So the direct seeding also, there are some procedures that need to be taken in place to ensure that you get maximum germination. Seeds like we have, this is squash, right? This is squash, and this seeds like this one, it requires direct seeding. It requires direct seeding. It doesn't do well when you transplant it. That is it with this type of seeds. It doesn't do well when you transplant it. So this one, you need direct seeding. So the direct seeding, there's this rule of thumb. I hope you heard about it. The rule of thumb, you don't sow it so deep than the length of your thumb. You don't sow it so deep than the length of your thumb. If you sow it too deep, the same thing applies to the vegetables. The same thing applies to the vegetable seeds that can be nursed. If you sow it too deep, it also struggles before actually coming out. So it may spend most of its days trying to get to the surface of the soil before it begins to photosynthesize and begins the process of development. So it is very good that you use the rule of the thumb. So with this one, after considering the planting distances, you also and the soil too need to be well prepared. So this is the squash seed that we are to use. It is always ideal to plant for squash. It's always ideal to plant it one by one. That is one seed per hole. So with the rule of the thumb, right? This is a rough estimate for squash. It needs about 60 to 75 centimeters apart before for it to do well, because when it gets a very good soil, it is able to spread very well. So, but for the demonstration purpose, I will just lower down the planting distance. So the rule of the thumb, you have to know if you are using stick, if you are using garden fork or anything, you don't have to let it be too much. This ones I'm just demonstrating, that's why I'm using the thumb. Obviously you may use a knife, a stick, or any other thing, planter, or any other thing that you need. So after you made the holes, you drop them in. So I've made 3 holes now. That is a 4th hole. So you now drop it in. You drop it in and you cover it lightly. Also ensure that you don't let soil lumps and stones fall on it. If not, it also become very difficult for it to emerge. So that's it. You put it in and you cover it. You make more depending on the number of holes that you have, depending on the land area. So you put them in, you cover them gently so that they also germinate. So that's it with it. We also have green bean here. So as you can see, this green bean seeds is also the same process that you have to go through, the rule of the thumb. And these ones, you can plant them too. So it's the same thing that you need to go through as you went. So it's the same thing. You also make holes. The rule of the thumb is always a very essential component in vegetable production. So you also put them in. You can put them two, and you lightly cover it. With the soil. So that's it with the direct seeding. Thank you.